Mike Dell's World, number 376 for the 12th of November, 2021.
You're listening to Mike Dell's World with your host, Mike Dell. From Mike Dell Studios, this is a Mike Dell production, created by Mike Dell. Mike Dell.
And as I said, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and today is Friday, and on Fridays during NAPOD POMO, I'm going to be doing a history one. For those of you who didn't know it, for a while there I did a show called Fast Food History, and what caused me to do that was I got on a Wikipedia rant, or yank, with looking up Big Boy, and found out all kinds of very oddball things about the Big Boy chain, which I thought was pretty cool. So part of what I thought was really good about it was Big Boys, as they are right now, there is two distinct companies that operate under the Big Boy brand, and they are absolutely and utterly separate. There's Big Boy Restaurant Group LLC, and they're headquartered in Warren, Michigan. It's outside of Detroit. And then there's Frisch's, F-R-I-S-H-C-H-S, Frisch's Big Boy, that's headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio. And the Big Boy name and menu were previously licensed to a number of regional franchises. That's the other thing. There was all kinds of different Big Boys out there a long time ago. But it started out in 1936. A guy by the name of Bob Wyan in Glendale, California. And the ones out in California were known as Bob's, or Bob's Big Boys, or Bob's Drive-In. But originally started as Bob's Pantry. So kind of interesting. And home of the Big Boy hamburger. And what was cool about that is they pretty much invented the double-decker burger, like the Big Mac, I guess, would be the other big double-decker one, but Big Boy was before that. And let's see, I was looking through the Wikipedia article here. Wyan Enterprises was bought out by Marriott Corporation in 1967, and one of the larger franchise operators, Alliance Brothers, bought the entire chain from Marriott in 1987 and moved it to Warren, Michigan, of course. And it operated until its bankruptcy was declared in 2000. The chain was sold to investor Robert Liggett Jr., who took over as chairman and renamed the company Big Boy Restaurants International and maintained its headquarters. In 2018, Big Boy was sold to a group of Michigan investors and renamed Big Boy Restaurant Group. And let's see. Yeah, they have 69 Big Boy restaurants in the U.S. and 2 in Thailand. And pretty crazy. And what's funny is Big Boy International has the Big Boy franchises, or Big Boy restaurants in Kentucky, Indiana, most of Ohio, and Tennessee. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. I misread that. Big Boy trademarks in Kentucky, Indiana, and most of Ohio and Tennessee were transferred to Frisch's ownership. All the Frisch's territories transferred to Leggett. So Frisch's is no longer a franchisee, but Big Boy Restaurant Group and Frisch's are now independent co-registrants of the Big Boy name and trademark. Frisch's operates franchises, 121 Big Boy restaurants in the United States. Oh boy, I didn't realize that. There's another one. Big Boy Japan operates 274 restaurants in Japan, also independent of the Big Boy Restaurant Group. So there's 3 of them, really. Crazy. But the mascot's the same for all of them. It's the It's the statue you've seen all over the place. Chubby boy with a pompadour hairstyle, wearing red and white checkered overalls, holding a big boy sandwich, a double-decker cheeseburger. And yeah, interesting. Let's see. Some of the other big boy restaurants out there. Let's see if I can find that list, because there is a list of them. Stuckey's was one of them. If you're from the South or have driven through the South, most of us up here in Michigan, Ohio, and whatever that drove to Florida would see Stuckey's all over, and Stuckey's is still there, believe it or not. It's just they've changed the name. Let's see. Here's the Big Boy hamburger. Now there's 3 distinctly different Big Boy burgers. Wyann's, or Bob's Big Boys, those are the ones that are still left in California. The most famous one is, I believe, where is it? It's where Jay Leno used to do the Tonight Show. Burbank. Yeah, the Big Bob's Big Boy in Burbank, and they had all that. But anyway, the Bob's Big Boy would have red relish. Wow, all the buns are double-decker buns, 3 slices of bread, basically. But Bob's Big Boys have relish on top. Well, let's start at the bottom. Mayonnaise on the bottom, and then some lettuce, and then some cheese, slice of American cheese, and then a quarter-pound burger patty, then the middle bun, then some more mayo, another burger patty, some red relish, and then the top of the bun. On the Big Boy system, which would be the ones in Michigan and northern Ohio, and maybe I think there's one in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but starts with the bottom bun, then the Big Boy sauce, which is actually Thousand Island dressing, some lettuce, some cheese, an 8-pound burger patty, the middle bun, some more Big Boy sauce, another burger, and some more Big Boy sauce, and topped with the top bun. So it's a saucy burger. Frisch's, and this is my personal favorite, Frisch's in Ohio mostly, but also Kentucky, Tennessee. They start at the bottom with the bottom bun, some dill pickles, the burger patty, a slice of cheese, middle bun, some tartar sauce, and it's the best tartar sauce on the planet, except for maybe McDonald's Filet-O-Fish sauce, but that's just my humble opinion. And on top of the tartar sauce, some shredded lettuce, another burger patty, and their bun is plain. The other 2 have sesame seeds. I know, you guys are just enamored with this wonderful podcasting here, but there's I know there was a list of the old franchises. Of course, there's the Big Boy in Burbank again is the most famous one in California. I believe there's 5 left in California. In '79 there were more than 1,000 in the U.S. and Canada, and about 20 franchisees. Shoney's, Elias Brothers, and Frisch's are the big ones. These mega franchises paid no fees. Something like that. Yeah, well, I'll have a link to the article, of course. So here I am, just sort of looking through the thing here. But what's interesting with the split companies is Frisch's now owns the Big Boy name in a defined 4-state region that franchises Azars, and its franchisee Azars closed in 2020. Bob's is licensed Big Boy Restaurant Group, so Bob's out in California, and many other former franchise owners, Shoney's particularly, have expanded into former territories of the other franchise holder. After buying Big Boy system from Marriott, Elias Brothers plan to phase out franchise names, only generically realize the Big Boy Restaurants International. Oh, geez. Okay, now I'm sounding silly. Yeah, Shoney's. That's the one. It wasn't Stuckies. It was Shoney's. And then they changed their identity. Instead of Big Boy, they just call themselves Shoney's. Also, there's one called Eaton Park, Elby's, Lendy's, JB's, and Adow's, who also kept their names after leaving Big Boy. Big Boy now permits operators to informally identify by location, such as Tawas Bay Big Boy or East Tawas, for Tawas Bay Big Boy in East Tawas, Michigan. Actually, I ate there not too long ago in that one. Let's see here. Big Boy Restaurant Group and Frisch's Big Boy Restaurants both continue to offer franchises in their exclusive territories, each having 20-year terms. As of 2014, Big Boy Restaurant Group charges $40,000 franchise fee and an ongoing 4% royalty, up to 3% advertising fees based on weekly gross revenue. In most of Michigan, the franchise pays 2% in advertising and must spend an additional 1% on local advertising. Franchisees in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan or outside Michigan pay 0.5% advertising fee and must spend 1.5% on local advertising. As of 2020, Frisch's Big Boy charges $40,000 to $45,000 franchise fee and an ongoing 4%. Okay, so it's about the same. Let's see. Here we go. Here's a roster of named franchisees. Adow's, that was in western and central Massachusetts and Connecticut, and they are now defunct. Adler's in Lynchburg, Virginia, and then Lendy's also got sold to Adler. Arnold's, oh wow, is that the same one from Happy Days? No, that's in the Philadelphia area. Azar's, Northern Indiana and Colorado. It seems like an odd territory. Becker's, Rochester and Buffalo, New York. Bob's, of course, is California, Arizona, Nevada, Alaska, Hawaii, Washington, Oregon, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Vermont, and Indiana. Ohio, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania. On the toll roads, and airport locations operated in several states by the Marriott Group. So Bob's was popular. Bud's, that's Montana and Wyoming. Cheschap, that sounds funny, but that's in Westmont, a suburb of Montreal, Quebec. And that was Bob Wyand's stepson had those. Don's, not to be confused with Don's Drive-In in Traverse City, but that one was operated by Allard. The restaurant was rebranded as Bob's Big Boy about 1986 and then closed after that. Turned into a Red Lobster. Okay. Eaton Park, that's Metro Pittsburgh. Elby's, Northern West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, Maryland. And let's see, Elias Brothers, that was Michigan and northeastern Ohio, and Ontario, Canada. One thing about Elias Brothers, that's kind of the ones that still exist now. They were all over Michigan, and only in northeastern Ohio, so around Cleveland and that whole area was still Elias Brothers, and today is Big Boy International. Whereas the rest of Ohio is Frisch's. Then we got Franklin's. Let's see, Franklin's was Eastern Pennsylvania. Fahia, that's pronounced weird or spelled weird, so hopefully I didn't butcher it too bad, but that was in Illinois. Frisch's, of course. JB's, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, Wyoming, Washington, California, New Mexico, Nevada, Nebraska, Kansas, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. Jeez, that's a weird one. But JB's, I remember JB's in Boise, Idaho, but I don't believe that at the time it was a Big Boy. It was just called JB's. And there's another JB's in Ontario, Alberta, and Quebec. So apparently can have the same. Anyway, Kibos, Seattle, Tacoma area. Ken's in Maryland and Washington, D.C. Kips in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Lendy's in Western Virginia, not to be confused with West Virginia. Leo's in Spokane in Montana. What happened to Idaho there? Anyway, Manners in northeastern Ohio, Cleveland TV market. Of course, that must have got bought out by either Frisch's or Elias brothers at some point. Mark's in Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Illinois. See, it goes on. There's another Mark's in Huntsville, or Hyattsville, Maryland. McDowell's in North Dakota. Mr. B's in New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Sharps, Shoney's, Parkalite, and that's Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, West Virginia, Maryland, Missouri, New York, Philadelphia. That one didn't close till 84. Wow, crazy. And Ted's in Rhode Island, TJ's in Rochester and Syracuse, New York, Tops in Illinois, Totes in Missouri, Tunes, Vips, 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 New Mexico, Texas, Wyoming, and Yoda's in Western Virginia, also not to be confused with West Virginia. And then outside the United States, of course, we did have a few Canadian ones there, but Maddie's Big Boy of Windsor, Ontario, was not a franchise, but sometimes identified as one using a similar-looking mascot. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, they sued Maddie's for trademark infringement, but failed because his Big Boy was judged to be was not widely known in Canada. Yeah, looking at it looks the same to me. Japan, Big Boy Japan, they still have 274 Big Boys. Hamburger, steak, and grill restaurants, they call them. Southeast Asia and Western Pacific, Singapore has some. Kind of crazy. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, interesting stuff. Big Boy Restaurant Group. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, let's see. The Marine City, Michigan Big Boy closed in February to reopen independently by a new owner. However, the same month, Big Boy added a new franchisee, an existing restaurant reopening as a Big Boy in Woodhaven, Michigan. April 2018, the Coldwater, Michigan location closed. Bummer. That's where Todd Cochran lives now. Okay. Enough about Big Boy. Interesting stuff. I do honestly prefer the Frisch's Big Boy burger over the Elias Brothers or the Big Boy System burger. I've never had a Bob's style burger. Now, there was a Big Boy that I used to stop at somewhere down in southern Michigan that used to do all three versions of it. So I don't know if that was a thing back in the day, but yeah, it's interesting. Interesting stuff. Anyway, if you guys never been to a Big Boy, go check one out if you're in striking distance. Basically, it's Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, one in Minnesota, and 4 or 5 of them in Southern California, and that's really about it. So, but they're interesting places, that's for sure. Anyway, with that, I'll catch you tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about the F-Wonder Lemon, the F-111, otherwise known as the Pig in Australia. It's a fighter jet that I am intimately acquainted with.